Man, recently watched a couple of these Vlad TV interviews. I want to speak on some Young Jock and Black Spencer um, beef or falling out, whatever, however you want to frame it. Man, well, let's get into it. We got some clips, some Vlad TV audio. Shout out to Vlad TV. Shout out to Jock. Shout out to Big Black Spencer. But let's get into it, man.
Okay, so I gotta ask, what was the falling out between you and Jock? Like the real story. How did that happen and why did it happen?
You know what's crazy? Me and Jock didn't even fall out because of me. Because he none of my artists can ever say blocking the table on the money. Because when I do a deal with them, I do a deal where the distributor will pay you. I don't gotta pay you. You know, the distributor get
What does that mean exactly?
Well, with my deal, Atlantic was a distributor. So all your money would come to Atlantic. And then Atlantic would break down the money. Send me mine, send me your portion. First we do a contract, and we'll say, okay, you get this percent, I get this percent. Boom. And we let the label send it out. And I saw a lot of people get kind of, get caught with a trick bag when they pay the artists themselves. Now, I want to let the distributor break down the money and send it to yourself. So you never say I'm stealing. See what I'm saying?
So, and I've seen this a million times myself.
Yeah.
A lot of the major labels, they pay the independents and then the independent.
Please, you pay. So we never, that's why you never heard nobody say Block Entertainment or anybody anything. Because we can't. It's going to come directly to you. And I don't do deals where publishing is a big factor too. A lot of people, and I wouldn't say take advantage of it, because I think everybody should eat at the table. Now you may be on chicken fingers and fries, nigga. You may not be, you may not earn steak yet. You know what I'm saying? You may not earn that goddamn, you know what I mean? You earn the Houston's yet. You may still be at Chapel. But you gonna eat though, you be full. So, but I saw when people take publishing and do all that. I just was around where I just saw the fallouts. And I said money was never a fallout. I never fell out with a nigga in the street about no money. I mean, damn, I come this sucker shit and fall for that. So I just let the strippers do their job. You know?
Got you.
But the fallout between me and Jock was simple. When I first signed Jock, I had Rico Brooks. He was managing all my artists.
Shout to Rico Brooks.
Yeah.
Another good dude in the music industry. Love that guy.
And,
solid as they come.
And what a lot of artists don't know, relationship, man. This is a relationship-based game. See, when I first came in, I'm from the street. I intimidated a lot of my partners, the white boys, but until they got to know me, and so I'm about to break. Fucking all that. I had to have somebody come in that looked like them, school like them, and Rico was them. He was one of them. He was one of the boys. So they'll meet Rico first, and then let her go through. Rico said, well, you want to holler at my partner? No, we cool. So Rico always made me happy because they didn't want to deal with me. They thought I'd be on some strict shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they thought. Because back in the days when street niggas was coming in, they always thought, oh, nothing shoot at night. Nah, but I had a system set up. And I was like, listen, man, all my artists, listen, man, this is a system. If I sign you, gotta let Rico, because Rico got relationships. Let him, it'll be easier. And Jock rolled with it until it was over. The first 2-3 years, then when it was over, he just cut him off. He just fired Rico. I said, but what I didn't like about it though, was they were just on vacation / paid date. And you didn't pull your man to the side and say, hey man, listen, this shit ain't gonna work. To my lawyer. But when Rico got home, Rico had a letter in the mail from his lawyer saying, you've been terminated. Tell this man, you fired, nigga. Hell, I would love to tell a motherfucker you fired, honestly. In your face, nigga. But that's me.
We got a furnishing agreement.
but it wasn't a deal yet. You know what I'm saying?
Explain the
It was a
difference.
first
What is
right of
that?
refusal. It was a first right of refusal. And the problem came in because the way me and Chino deal was set up, me and Chino was set up through Mastermind Music as partners.
So this is your label.
Right, me and Chino Dollar. So when we did
Yep.
this furnishing agreement with Block, the deal supposed to went the way it went like that. And I guess the whole thing with Block and Diddy having their relationship, Block, Harv, and Diddy, it was just like the niggas just tried to strong arm shit. Because Chino, it was certain shit that Chino wasn't with, and I wasn't with either. And that shit just it just started creating like issues, man. It's like, hold on, my nigga, like, we don't do that kind of shit. That ain't what we do. We on this.
Okay, so hold on before we even go there, because I want to make you obviously, you know, Block is family. And I sat down and I interviewed with him, and I just want to make sure we at the same part of the story at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to Block, he was saying originally he was taking you, like he was like, I like Jock from the gate. Out the gate, I liked him. And I was taking him to Diddy. Diddy was, nah, I don't know about this one, Block. I don't know about him. So Block was like, yo, I'm going to come back to Atlanta. I'm going to heat this thing up. And then he went back to Diddy on it. But by that time, the dance had already been put to the song and all that. So when you say that there was a little mix-up with the...
It was complicated because of the way me and Chino contract was set up and the way their contract was set up. It's kind of one of the things that happens every day. I can't get all the way to the intricate detailing of it because it's going to sound like a bunch of jargon, a bunch of legal jargon. But when you say basically, hey, that's how I got out of the deal, because it came about that I never was really signed with Block. By the way me and Chino deal was set up. How you think I got out my deal? That's how the fuck I got out the deal. So the last time when he said, oh, I shelved him, when we were talking that shelf shit, I was like, okay. I went and got the attorney I needed. I cut that check. We pointed out everything, the parameters in the paperwork, and Diddy let me motherfucking walk. I wouldn't have been able to walk if that paperwork was strong. You get what I'm trying to say? So people can investigate, they can say what they want to say. This could sound like bullshit to a nigga. But if I was able to walk and go do my own thing, free and clear, and I ain't have to pay nobody shit, then I think that's enough evidence to let you know what the fuck I'm saying is factual. Period, point blank. It's just that simple.
So, okay, so again, you know, and I'm talking to you, who I consider a friend, and we're talking about another person I consider a friend. I want to make sure I'm just understanding, you know, because Block's, I asked him straight up, yo, Block, was there a problem with Jock? Like, what was the fallout? Because I know Block pushing me to push you hard. To make sure, prayers, I need this record to blow. Just like he did for Gorilla Zoe, just like he did for Boys in the Hood. Right? So when y'all started to have y'all falling out, for lack of a better way to put it, nobody knew what it was about. And when I asked him about it, he said, yo, Sean, it wasn't personal. I mean, it wasn't business, it was actually personal. And that's where Rico, who is a friend of yours, is a friend of mine, come into the picture.
But the fallout between me and Jock was simple. When I first signed Jock, I had Rico Brooks. He was managing all my artists.
Because you're so loyal to
Absolutely.
Rico Brooks.
Absolutely.
Really?
That's bullshit. You gotta think, let's be for real. Nigga you never seen an artist with a work ethic like me. And this not just past, let's just say, fuck work ethic. You never seen an artist, alright, with a sound mind. At that time, niggas wasn't having sound minds. I was the artist, I did everything. Nigga, I didn't miss flights, nigga, I didn't miss meetings, I didn't miss radio. Nigga, you didn't have to drag me, you didn't have to beg me. Nigga, I was beating you there. First and
I
foremost,
can attest to that, just for the record.
When I did my deal with Bad Boy, you was there. When I came to Daddy's house, they like, yeah, we throwing you this big ass party, this signing party. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in a party with Diddy, nigga, in Daddy's house. And when I get in that motherfucker, it's an isolated portable booth in the middle of that motherfucker. I got all these. I didn't say one motherfucking word. The party went on around me. I went in that motherfucking booth and I knocked out a stack of fucking drops this thick without no problem, no hesitation. That was me as an artist. Always, in any aspect of what I did. I never missed flights. I never missed interviews. I never missed show dates. You know what I'm saying? I was that nigga. You asked me to do something, I executed. Because I was really a fucking soldier. So when we went platinum on New Jack City, when we went platinum, and I said, hey, we did this shit. You helped me. This was one of the biggest dreams. I always wanted to be a rap star, and I wanted to be platinum. But there was still underlying issues between him and Chino Dollar. You understand what I'm saying? And because they was doing some fuck shit with the paperwork and how he was handling the business, my nigga got involved in other shit in the streets with the motherfucking work. When he didn't have to do that because nigga, we both supposed to be rich. Not me getting my part and he trying to figure out where the fuck he was coming from. So you know what my nigga did? He went hard in them streets. Now, lo and behold, the inevitable happened. He got jammed up, so he had to go sit down. None of that whole shit. He went and did his shit. So I said, Block, I need to advance on my second album. We just went platinum. Off an album you ain't have to spend no fucking money on, nigga. Give me a feature that was on my first album. Name a feature. Name a feature. Okay then. Nigga went platinum with no features, so you ain't paid nobody. Name a big producer on my first album. One there. Okay then, nigga. So where the budget at? I came with my own records. I came with It's Going Down. I came with I Know You See It. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I came with a lot of those records before I even knew this nigga. So, you know, basically, in real life, nigga, you done got them to the artists who came in with damn near half his project. So we paid some money to mix some shit? Maybe retract a vocal here or two, there, add a few songs, and you put it out without spending no real fucking money, nigga. That's the best layup alley-oop ever. That's an assist, nigga. And you don't give me an advance on my second album? So all that fuck shit he was talking about oh, he went against Rico. No, nigga, you're the label and Rico's my manager. So when I'm telling Rico, I need a motherfucker. Rico, I need an advance, man, on my second album, bro. When these motherfuckers tell me I got $1 million budget on my second album, nigga, give me a fucking advance. Nigga would not give me an advance. So then you started driving the way and stuff. Like, how you not gonna feed your nigga, dog? I'm little bro. You love me, nigga, make something good. Nigga, I got a family. You can't see, here's the thing. I was a little kid. I was married with children. This nigga had children. Nigga, you might be a few years older than me, but we got the same goddamn responsibilities. We got kids, nigga. We got a household, nigga. You pay taxes, I pay taxes, nigga. You pay for petrol, I pay for petrol, nigga. If you get shot and bleed, I get shot, I bleed too. It ain't nothing no different. So it just was like, damn, my nigga, really? So when it came down time to do the second album, I wasn't focused on really fucking with him like that in real life. Because it was like, damn, my nigga, Chino, who don't even supposed to be sitting down right now, not here with me. I'm really not fucking with this nigga because you controlling my budget. Nigga don't want me to record nowhere but his studio. Man, fuck all that, dog. I know what you're doing. You want to eat off the budget. Nigga, let me be an artist and do what the fuck I want to do. And because I knew the type of niggas that was on my side with Chino them, okay, some real street niggas that really want to heat, and I knew the type of niggas he had around him. I was the nigga who took the hits. I became the buffer for all that shit. So I'm telling them, nah, be cool. I'm telling these niggas, nah, be cool. Because I knew what it would have turned into. Nigga, I was rich. You think I couldn't have had some niggas off? Nigga, the kind of money I'm getting every day, every week, you think I had these niggas off? But I wasn't on that. You know what I'm saying? So all that other shit, I just, you sit back and you're like, damn. So while he telling the label, now what happened was, we recorded here and I had a whole, so now you done start putting Zoe against me and I'm like, damn, Zoe, how you going against me, bro? You supposed to be my bro for real. Nigga, I told Block to sign you, nigga. What are you talking about? Buck, QC, right? You know P, Buck, who is P's brother, Buck. That's who brought Zoe. Him and Chris Flame brought Zoe to me for Block. That's that whole play. That's how they ended up. But I also had the nigga Sonny Valentine. Remember Sonny? So when I seen Zoe, so when me and Zoe started having complications, I was just like, damn, what this nigga doing? I'm like, yo, this shit finna go wild because we don't have no real beefs, but it's like they're festering because of the way a nigga trying to micromanage this shit. See, the one thing with Block, to me, Block was not savvy. Block wanted to be savage. And that shit didn't work. It worked in some instances. You gotta know when and when not. You know what I'm saying? And bro didn't really know when not. It was always, well, I'm gonna do this and that. Like, bro, you fucking up relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like other artists couldn't come to the studio and record with a nigga. So you started fucking up that synergy. I'll never forget, I'm in the studio working. I got 4 hard drives plugged up. Zoe got like 2 hard drives. All the shit chain link. Zoe walked in the studio if I'm lying, God to take every one of my kids. Unhook his goddamn hard drive. That bitch wiped out 4 hard drives.
So the
worth of
reason
my music
behind
on my
that
second
dispute,
album.
man, it seems to be, you know, a mixture between loyalty and financial. Okay, so let's get into the loyalty aspect. Block claims that the reason why he doesn't do business or associate with Young Joc in that way anymore is because of him firing and abandoning Rico Brooks, which was the manager. Now I know that if you are partners with the label owner or the label founder, and both of you guys are part of the label, and you play as legal, and you're managing all the artists, but you still have some type of partnership with the label head, that's a direct conflict of interest. So we have to watch that. And so if it's true in Block's defense of him firing his manager, I would say that Joc has a right to fire his manager because it's a direct conflict of interest. And how can you represent both parties? So when you're thinking of business and it's like, okay, I want this, I want that. The manager is responsible for making the certain connections and going to get what the artist needs from the label and, you know, the other entities that they do business with. So I kind of understand that part, but I don't understand when he says, you know, out of the loyalty for Rico, he's not speaking with Joc anymore. I mean, well, I get it, but then it's like, how could you be mad at somebody like Joc as an artist for making that decision? But then on the flip side, as Joc goes into it, he mentions a gentleman by the name of, man, I forget his name, but anyway, he mentions the other guy involved who was his partner, who Joc originally was partnered up with and signed to in that deal. And, you know, that's the guy that Block didn't look out for. And he wasn't giving this guy his percentages. And you know, through the deal with Diddy and all of that, they weren't giving this gentleman his percentages. And by that happening, the guy went out and, you know, engaged in street activity. And by him engaging in that street activity, sent him to prison. And Joc figures that, you know, if the deal would have went the way it was supposed to, and this gentleman was able to be paid properly and get his proper splits off the deal, then he wouldn't have to gamble in the streets and risk his life and freedom that way. And he kind of blames Block for that in a way, but he's still contractually obligated to his situation, so he has to stay. So despite of all that, he asks for an advance on his deal for a second album, and he then lets, you know, the interviewer know, hey man, I brought my whole album and everything to the situation. So you didn't use a budget, so it's no recoup. It's no way. It's nothing. Y'all don't have nothing to recoup because I brought everything to the table when I came, and that kind of makes sense. But he probably did forget about marketing dollars. But if he asks for an advance, you know, he's going to deliver the second album. and you don't gotta beg him to work or show up to the studio and do things like that, then I don't see why he couldn't get his advance. And he said he was going to Rico and asking Rico, and this is the thing, man, you gotta do their job. He was going to Rico for Rico to push for him from the label. But if you're in business in partnership with Block and Diddy and you're managing the artist, whose interest do you have? Whose interest do you have more? The artist's interest or the label interest? Of course, the label has bigger pockets. Come on, it's Puffy, it's Sean P. Diddy, it's P. Diddy. And you know, the tactics at Bad Boy over the years, you know, these are some of the complaints that his artists had. So if Block is attached to Bad Boy South and Block Entertainment, why wouldn't Block operate the same way? So that's another thing. But Jock also goes into, again, you know, they doing shady stuff, you know, playing with his money in that way, not wanting to give him the advance, not having a good enough reason not to give him advance. So if he did fire Rico, he fired Rico because he asked Rico to make sure he get his advance. He needed advance money, and not only him needing his advance money, he needed the advance money to help his friend who's jammed up because Block and Associates didn't honor their end of the deal or the bargain. And, you know, Block downplayed what was really going on. He said it wasn't over money. It sounds like it was personal. It's personal because by you not honoring certain ends of the deals, I got a friend fighting cases and doing jail time because you decided to play with his percentage of the money. And technically, how Jock got out of the deal, like you said, he was never really signed because of the deal that him and the other guy did. So it seems like Block was just eating for free. And once that, you know, once that was up and now that was over with, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, oh damn, the jig is up, so you know I ain't rocking with homie no more. When in all actuality, if the story plays out the way Jock said it, I mean, who's right or wrong here? So I look at both sides of the spectrum, and like I said, it seems to be a combination of three things to me: financials, personal, and loyalty. Okay, you want Jock to remain loyal to Rico Brooks because Rico Brooks was doing a lot of things to help your artists and situations, and y'all did a lot of pushing for Jock, and he like he said, he stated he's great for that. But you want him to remain loyal to a guy who can't fight for him on the behalf of him against you when he's asking for an advance. To me, that's not a manager that I need. If you're not going to go and get me what I need, I'm the artist. I'm your artist that you're managing. You're supposed to go and get this done for me. But you can't be in partnership with the label. Just like you can't be a label for the, you can't be a lawyer for the label and a lawyer for the artist. It doesn't work out because you have to choose a side. So the artist and the label should always have separate lawyers. Just like you don't manage a person when you're in partnership with the label. But some labels have it that way. They have management, a management branch of the label. Like you got, like just for Roc Nation, for instance, it's just using it as an example. Roc Nation has Roc Nation Sports and Roc Nation Management, but they also have Roc Nation the label. It's kind of hard because when it's time to re-up this contract for your next deal, when you've done 3 albums for the label and, you know, 2 went gold, or maybe 1 went platinum, 2 went gold, or vice versa, that manager can't really argue with the label on your behalf because they're employed by the label. Conflict of interest. So any artist will be upset with that situation. And when you're learning the business, it teaches you, hey, well, this is a, so no, the person who manages me, I will not have a lawyer with the same lawyer as the person who manages me or my label. I'll be signed to the label. It'll probably be a 50-50 partnership or some type of partnership where I'm the head of my own imprint, and I'll be partnered up for distribution and marketing from a label, maybe a major, maybe a major, because there are major indie labels. What they don't tell you it's an independent label, but this independent label is backed by a major distributor, so it makes it a independent label that's also a major as well, or acting as a major as well. And if your partnership, let's say the deal is 60-40, the label's going to get a split off of that. They're going to get their percentage or whatever like that off of that. So y'all are now a partnership. You would not have the same legal counsel as that label. Your management would not share the same lawyer as you or your label. So everything that gets drawn up in the contract must be honored. So your lawyer and your manager have to fight on your behalf against whatever labels you're assigned to. And because you're a partner of yourself, you're a partner and you have your own label yourself, it works out a little differently. So the distribution label should be sending the 60% of whatever and the 40% of whatever separately, and not send it to one person and then they give it to the artist label. That's not how that works. It's done that way. It should be done that way so everybody can get what they supposed to get and what they deserve. And it's the artist's job or the imprint label's job to make sure that producers, writers, mixers, engineers, and all those people are paid. Now you could do work for hire, or you can do the point system. Work for hire, one flat fee rate, and boom, they got what they need. Now that's how that's supposed to go. When you sign a contract, you're supposed to honor that contract, unless another party that's a part of that contract did not honor their end of the bargain. Therefore, the contract should be terminated. But that's why you need different legal counsel. So that's the issue that Jock was dealing with. And like he said, since he was never technically signed to Block, that's how he was able to work his way out of that deal. But it been a head bumping ever since. And like Jock said, he said the Block should have been more savvy, but he kept trying to carry everything savage. Sometimes guys from the streets, they bring the same mentality into every industry, and you really can't. But how Block explained it when he said it, he wasn't, the partner, the labels and stuff like that, and the people in the industry were in fear of street guys or guys who come from the streets because of people like Suge Knight and Damon Dash. Damon Dash is very vocal. Suge Knight is very vocal. Suge Knight is very intimidating. So, and you're dealing with people who are not used to dealing with people in the streets, so they get intimidated by guys and street figures that they don't want to do business with. So that's what Block used Rico Brooks for, as a buffer and a go-between, the middleman between him and the labels. So they deal directly with Rico Brooks instead of dealing directly with Block Spencer, sort of like what Eazy-E did with Jerry Heller. So when you get these type of things that's going on, who knows if Rico was playing three sides? Because, hey, listen, I'm managing Jock. That's the management side. I'm partners with Block. I walk in these rooms and, talk to the people he can't talk to, or hold conversations with people that don't want to necessarily have conversations with him. And then, it goes a certain way. But on the flip side of that, boom, I'm going into the rooms without this man to talk to these people. So it's like he eat three ways, if that's how he's playing it. Not to say that's how he's playing it, but the initial beef seems to be, from people not wanting to honor the things that were set in place. And a lot of times in business, people get greedy. And I'm not saying that Jack got greedy, and I'm not saying that Block got greedy. Not saying Rico got greedy, but what I'm saying is, who should get the most out of all of this would be the artist. But at the same time, what people got to factor in is that not only Block, the gentleman that came in with Jock himself, Rico, Brooks, Greg Street, and a host of others are instrumental in Jock's success. But at the same time, he is at the forefront of the success because he's putting in the work as an artist. But they're putting in the work to push him. So I feel like everybody should be on equal footing in a certain sense. But it's like they say, everybody can't go. So he had to cut off who he had to cut off for the reason that he had to cut him off. Now Block had other artists. Block had Boys in the Hood. Block had Gorilla Zoe, and a bunch of other people signed to Block Entertainment. So he really shouldn't have lost no sleep over losing Jock. Yeah, he was the biggest artist at that time for what he was doing. But if the deal is not right for you, you have to sever ties with whoever you're in business with. And it seems like these gentlemen were unhappy with the situation. Hopefully one day they can resolve this, have a conversation about this. But I know personally, if I had one of my close homeboys who was there for me and there with me before I met you, and he's supposed to be a part of this deal, and I'm supposed to be signed to him as well. And that's a lot of artists issue. They're signed to somebody before they get to somebody else, and then they sign 2 deals at once, and then they go sign their major. So that means they're then signed to 3 different entities, and then they go and they start their own label and sign themselves. So now this money is split 4 ways. So by you being signed to the first deal, that's 25% of whatever. The second deal, 25% of whatever. Yourself, 25% of whatever, and then whatever the major label percentage is. Let's just say it's all 25% around the board. You're going to get your 25% off top by you being in partnership with this joint venture. Then you'll get whatever percentages that you had signed between the 2 labels, because people don't understand there was a double percentages in a way. So let's just say you sell 10 million records of an album. Okay? Y'all done paid for all the production and everything up front. You don't owe no producers, no nothing. Nobody else on the back end. They all got their money up front. They didn't even know you was going to pop. You made this album, you came to the label, brand new album, you marketed right, everything went well, and you sold 10 million records. $10 million split 4 ways or the 4 different entities, right? Let's just say in the agreement, bet you give the guys that you signed to, they get 10% or whatever. You get the other, you still get the extra 15%, or however that may work. Where they get 15, you get 10. However that works, but you still got your 25 from your end signing yourself, and then the label get their 25%. But let's just say the money didn't go directly to you. We went to the distributor label, and they decided they had to jerk somebody or cut somebody out of deal, and they end up cutting the original guy you signed to. That would tick you off because you feel a loyalty to that guy, just like Block feels a loyalty to Rico Brooks. So the issue I see here is should have had different management. You can't force your artist to sign to your label and take up the management that you want them to take, and that was the problem. And a lot of people get in those situations, they're scared to lose opportunities, so they don't buck back. Jock decided to buck back in that situation. Hey, look, this don't seem right. You ain't doing what I need him to do. He fired. Now, if he was fired the way the Block said he was fired, And they was hanging out and everything like that. And Jock never pulled this man aside and said, "You fired." And then he decided to just send him a "you fired" letter in the mail. Kind of crazy that you was, you know what I'm saying? But things like that happen. What was he wrong is in his initial thought to, hey, this is a conflict of interest. I might need to get rid of this guy. No. Sometimes we just got to do what's best for us and the situation, especially when we got kids, man. Shout out to Jock. Shout out to all parties involved. Shout out to Block, Rico. Shout out to the gentleman who lost his freedom. And you know, man, we continue banging y'all over the head with content, man. And I appreciate. So I want y'all to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It is Gems TV out, man. Go hard, grind harder, man. Get your money and do what you do.